Well, yeah, we were there till like 1:30 in the morning, and we had a wedding the next morning. Like, and I was like, "Can I stay? I want to stay." And he's like, "Dude, we got to get going." And so it was like I couldn't get pulled away from it, and it was like, "We got to go." And I'm like, "Oh, darn it, okay." But so it was super awesome. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to, want to keep his, it's like his bat cave, right?
Nobody gets into the lair that doesn't belong in the lair.
Yeah, the bat cave is the bat cave, right?
Yeah.
So
And so Russell probably has this idea now about what the future looks like. I got to believe he's jazzed for what we're doing. And has he expressed any interest in, quantum kinetics as part of any of his plans for the future?
When he was driving me back to the car from the lair, and it was just him and I in the car. I said, "Hey, what do you think about this movement of nuclear fusion and transmutating radioactive waste at Hanford and all that?" And he said, "McCain," because I asked him, I was like, "Do you think Hollywood would be interested in this story or whatever?" And he looked at me and goes, "McCain, this story that you have right now is bigger than Hollywood by a factor of 10. And so I don't think he's saying no, but what he's also saying is that this movement is massive. And for what I was thinking was that if Hollywood could get in and help out and do a story about this and like make it part of the collective consciousness story, that we'll never ever forget. The civilization of the human race will never forget the importance of the ARC reactor as our childhood dream finally coming to life. And that is a really potent story that will never be forgotten. It's like if you were Mesopotamian and you were like, I'm going to make a clay tablet and I'm going to roll 1,000 of these clay tablets of the story of creation or something that's important so nobody forgets.
Yeah.
That is something that I think is very important for Hollywood and everyone to understand, that this cold nuclear fusion has never gotten this far before in history. And it is at a very shaky time right now where it can be swatted down by naysayers and haters and people with bad intent. It really can be, but it is important for everyone to understand that this is your tech because deep down inside you believe.
And there will be those in the doubters who haven't even crossed over to the idea that this is a potential solution that are already saying this sounds pompous to say that, it sounds arrogant. But what they don't know is if you see this and you run the tests and you see the results from the national labs, our breakthrough is coming. I don't know if we can talk at all about what's ahead for us in this next little while, other than to say we have some new potential. And we're excited.
Yeah, like I said in the last podcast, essentially is that this movement goes nowhere without you guys. The baton has gotten to a point where it's never gone before, and without anyone else's help coming in to push it further, it's not going to go anywhere. And the naysayers know that too, but the people that could benefit from this greatly need to know that this is your tech, and it is here for you now, and this is the best shot possible for it to actually take off and make a huge difference in your lives.
Okay, so we keep saying we want you to get involved, we want you to, be a part of this movement and so forth. Let's outline a couple of ideas of how that involvement might look to a casual observer watching on YouTube, or anybody who's a little more inspired and says, look, I don't know if I'm marching down the street and organizing rallies for safe nuclear fusion or what. Give me some ideas of where you kind of think this could go.
Well, I mean, there's like when you're carrying the Halo flag back to the camp, and the bad guys are shooting at you, and they're throwing grenades at you, and they're trying to, hit you with plasma rifle or whatever. There's things that other people can do, like you can subscribe to the channel. That's a big hit. That's a good move. And then you can buy merchandise now on our, because we're part of YouTube partnership program. You can buy merch. That helps too.
And what's our new slogan on those?
Cold Cold neutrons are hot. Which, by the way, that's your. You might want to talk about how awesome of a slogan maker you are, because you came up with that during a board meeting minutes, and I was like, we're putting that on the t-shirts.
You know what? That is one of those things that just, it comes in a second. I don't even have to conjure it up. It just pops in there, and there we have a slogan. It's always been that way for me. I told you I won the United States Soccer Federation chant contest.
Yeah, you want to tell the audience about how much of a baller you are?
Just briefly. So back in 2001, U.S. Soccer Federation has a contest for entry to write the official chant for the U.S. Soccer Federation. And I've been getting the emails from the Federation all summer long, keeping up with the team and the activities and schedule for stuff. But I noticed down in the bottom this link.
A tiny font.
Tiny, well, it wasn't real big, and I was a little surprised, but Philips Electronics had come on as an official sponsor, and they were putting out this U.S. Stadium chant contest. And I looked again, and it was like, today is the last day you can enter. And I kind of look at my watch, and I thought, it must be the East Coast time. I better hurry, because it's 25 words or less. It describes what, embodies American soccer passion, and kind of it's got to stick with that and make it kind of a rah-rah thing.
Yeah.
So 25 words or less, and I write this thing in 3 minutes. And it's, again, this is how it comes to me. It just pops in. I'm not sitting there.
It's like wave energy just pulsing in your brain.
Not doing a lot of purposeful crafting. It comes into my head. I write it down. I send it in, and I forget about it. And then a month later, I'm at work, and my phone rings, and I'm looking. I don't recognize this number. It's from New York City. And but I answer it, and it was the legal firm representing the U.S. Soccer Federation's marketing arm, or whatever they are. And they said, we're going to send you an affidavit form, and you send it back, and we will put out a press release declaring you the grand prize winner of the U.S. Stadium chant contest. And I start and I'm gracious. I do what I need to get the info to them and back to them. And I hang up, and I start laughing. And it's like, I can't believe I won this. This was like 3 minutes of effort on the last day, probably at the closing window before they cut it off. And it won. And I won a Philips, what was then their kind of state-of-the-art home theater system. It was the first generation HD. And so it was just one of those moments where you realize sometimes when things pop into your head,
you just do it.
You just do it. And that's an encouragement to anyone out there, because, again, I'm not in this chair because of how well I thought it through. Well, and I mean that in a good way.
Remember, like, your friends have always told you that you're kind of a luck. You're like, everything that you do or get involved with, it just kind of works out.
Charmed life is what it's been called a few times.
And when you told me that, and then we started working together and pushing this cold nuclear fusion movement forward with Quantum Kinetics, I started noticing things were actually happening. It's like, the way I look at it as the CEO of QKC is that I look at Randal as like our luck dragon, like from the Neverending Story, like Falcor. He's got to get to the edge of the boundaries of Fantasia. He's got to stop the nothingness. And you came in, and the company was actually in the pit of sorrows. Like, we were going under. We had a bunch of people that had screwed us over real bad, and we were like, we're screwed. It's going to end right now. Like, all our patents, we're going to lose control of the patents. We're going to lose control of the trademarks. You came in. Everything changed. We're pushing forward. We're putting pressure on everyone out there to change and do it right. And I just want to thank you so much for bringing your luck, your energy, your positivity to the movement.
I thank the man upstairs too, because that's the one who's brought me in and takes it every day, one day at a time, one prayer at a time. So this is really kind of a movement of the people